Hi everyone and welcome back. In today's video, we're gonna continue where we left up in the previous video. We're gonna start with a quick refactoring for large application, and then we're gonna move to the post/upload-image endpoint. Now, here you can see this is the structure of our admin folder. You can see this is the structure of our administration page. Within the admin folder, we got an admin page which is considered as the entry point because you can see we have a router view within this page, and here the router view allows to load the children page, which is the dashboard, create post, and post list page. These are children page of our admin page. Now we're gonna try to refactor this admin folder in order to extend our app for large application. Now, before we get started, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get notified about new content, but also you can smash the like button if you haven't already. Let's get started. Alright guys, here you can see we got the views folder, and within the views folder we got two folders, admin folder and the O folder. And within the admin folder, we are going to start refactoring the admin folder, and then we're going to move to the O folder. The admin folder represents the O administration page of our blog application. And here you can see we have created all our pages within the roots directory of admin folder. And if we continue with this structure, soon we are not going to be able to manage our application. In the admin folder, suppose here we got thousands, suppose even 30 files, 30 pages, we are going to be unable to manage this administration page. And to avoid that, we are going to create folders for each pages. And this folder, it is going to contain actions, components, tabs of this page or a single page. Here we're gonna start with the admin page here, and then we're gonna move to the create post page and post list page. Now let's click on the dashboard. Here you can see it doesn't yet have here a link, the router link component to this, because here you can see when I click on dashboard, it doesn't move to the dashboard page. Let me add it first before we continue. And I'm gonna get into the admin page here. We need to import router link to this section right here. Let me import router link, and then I'm gonna add this attribute to it. Here, let me do this so that you can see, guys. Yeah, and then here we need to pass here dashboard is the label, and here admin, because when we click on admin, we're gonna fall back to the dashboard page. And in the browser, you can see when I click on admin, we just get on the admin page. When I click on the create post page, we're on the create post page. Now let's start off with the dashboard page here. Now, in order to refactor the dashboard page, we are going to create here a folder. I'm gonna say dashboard, and within the dashboard folder, I'm gonna create here a folder components where we're going to put all components of the dashboard page, actions, tabs. Here you can see tabs, you got also tabs, and then I'm gonna move the dashboard page, within the dashboard folder. And this is how we can refactor. And you can see that it seems that we are getting an error. Let's move on the admin, the router folder, and then you can see here we're getting an error because we need to add here dashboard, because we are getting to the admin/dashboard in order to hit the dashboard page live view. Now here you can see the error disappear, and if we get into the browser, and you can see everything, it is working. And let us move within the dashboard page. Here you can see we got a little component, we got a little card here, Bootstrap card, and this is a component. Let us create first a file for this component. We're gonna say count post.vue, and then here let me pass here the template. I'm gonna pass it there, and then let us create a script here up here. Let's do this, and then here we're gonna create a script, and then here we're gonna pass setup, and the language, it is TypeScript. And then I'm gonna use define prop macros to define a props. Yeah, here I'm gonna pass it count post. It is going to be a number. It is a property, and then this property we're gonna pass it right there. And here let us add here two parentheses so that the error can disappear, and refactor. Let us refactor. You can see that we just created a component. Now we need to import this component within the dashboard page. Here we're gonna do this first. We're gonna create here a script. Let us do this quickly. Length ts, and here we're gonna add here setup, and then we need to import the count post from components, and then we're gonna do count post view. And here you can see when we are going to call this component, we need to remove this card div, and then we're gonna pass it. And you can see here we're getting an error because we need to pass it this count post property. Here we need to do this. It is a number. We're gonna pass it 12, 15, and here you can see, yeah, everything it is working. And this is how you can refactor. Let me add something here. Suppose here within the actions folder we got an action. Let's say count post.ts. And within the count post.ts action, we have a function. It is an asynchronous function that allows to return the number of posts that we have within our database. And then count post HTTP, and then here it is going to return a number. Let's say 12, 15. Okay, let me say 23. And then we need to import this promise within the dashboard page. Here, let us get into the dashboard page. Here, you can see we need to import it. Then we are going to do this, and then from actions folder, and then we're gonna import count post like this, guys. Let's say const, it is going to be a reactive property. Const post, let's say we're gonna name it count post, and then we're gonna pass it ref like this. And it is going to be a number. We type it a number, and then here we need to import the ref method from Vue, and then here we're gonna import also the mounted left circle hook component, and we're gonna do this async. And here we need to call this count post data HTTP function. We're gonna do this const data, and we're gonna call this promise. We're gonna await the result of this promise, because later on we're gonna implement we're gonna add here code that is going to fetch the list of posts to the server. And let us finish first. I'm showing you how you can refactor first. Here you can see when we over the data property, it is TypeScript infers it to be a number. And then we're gonna do count post reactive property that value, and then we are going to pass it the value, which is the data. And then here we're gonna pass it right there. Yeah, this count post. Here it seems we are getting an error because it seems that we have similar names here. Let me say number of posts like this, and then I'm gonna do this, and then here I'm gonna pass here number of posts, and the error, it is going to disappear. Here I don't know why we are getting here an error. You can see here the ref, when we over the ref property, TypeScript infers it to be a number or undefined. That's why we are getting this error here, because you can see the count post property from count post components accepts only a number, and to avoid that we are going to initialize it with a 0, and here you can see the error disappear because the number of post property, it is going to be infers only to be a number. Now here, if we get into the browser and let's try to refresh everything, it is working pretty well. We just finished refactoring the dashboard page. And here, if you got tabs for your dashboard page, you need to create a component. Let's say dashboard tabs ts. It is where you need to define all your tabs. Here you can define interface, or your interface mask goes right here for the dashboard page. Let's say we need to define an interface I count post, and then this interface, it is going to return a number. Let's say count post, then it is going to be a number. This is how you can refactor your pages. Now we move to another page, which is the create post page. That's where we're gonna refactor, and then we're gonna create another folder, which is going to be create posts. And then here we are going to move the create posts within this folder. Yeah, we need to move it there. Yeah, you can see it is there, and we need to fix an error within the Laravel Vue file. Here we need to specify a folder create post like this so that the error can disappear. And here within the create post page, we need also to create two folders. The first one, it is going to be the components, and the second one actions. The third one tabs. For the create post, here we need to pass here a type, let's say tabs, and then here we need to create a file, create post.tabs.ts like this. If we move within the create post page, here you can see we got a tab here. We got a tab I create post input, and this tab is locating these admin tabs, and it is not better at all. Now we need to import this. Yeah, we need to import this tab right here within the create post.tabs.ts, because when somebody it is working with you guys, he can see that this tab it is appropriated to the create post page, and it is not for the admin folder, because within the admin.tabs we are going to put tabs that is need to be used within this admin folder. I can say base type. Now here you can see we just import I create post input, and then let us get into the create post page, and here we need to do this. Here you can see we are getting an error. We need to remove this line right there and import it from this folder, from tabs create post.tabs, and the error disappear. And we just finished refactoring this create post page. Here you can see everything, it is clear. I think, yeah, here we need to, if you got, let's say you need to, this page right here, the create post page, here you have a component, maybe you suppose here you got a sidebar. You can just come over the component folder and create a component for the create post page here. That's how we can refactor. I'm giving you some hints in order to build large application. Now here we need to refactor another page, which is the post list page. Here we're gonna create another folder, post list, and then here we need to move the post list page within it and create three folders. We need to create first the components. We need to create actions. We need to create also tabs, where we are going to put our tabs related to the post list page. And then here, if we get into the router, we are getting here an error because we need to change the path. We are going to locate the post list folder. The error goes. Now here you can see within the post list page here, we got some tabs right here. We need to move in here. we need to move in. Yeah, I forgot something, guys. Let me go back again. Within the create post pages, here you can see we didn't import actions. Here you can see we got here create post. We should move this action within the actions folder. Yeah, like this. And after that, this action, it is there. We should remove errors within it. We should do this. And we need to get into also the create post pages because we have moved something. Yeah, this method right here, create post, it is where it is within the create post. Yeah, it doesn't have an error. Yeah, that's the action that we should move. And it doesn't have a component. Let's try to see if everything is working. Yeah, everything is working. And let's try to move to post list pages. You can see here we got get post list.ts action. We need to move it right here. Yeah, there. And also it has types here. Let us do this. Within the admin dash tabs, we have a tab here. We need to move this tab from post list dash tabs .ts folder, the .ts file, sorry, and we need to import this interface from create post folder. And here we need to do also, we need to refactor something here. We need to remove this. And another thing here, we need to do something. Yeah, I think everything it is working here. Let's try to see. Here it doesn't have a component. Let me try to zoom out a little bit. Here you can see that it seems that everything it is working. Let's try to move to post list page here. You can see it doesn't get any error because everything it is working as expected. Now let's see here. Yeah, we doesn't have a component. Here you can see we run the post list page, and here you can see we got a table. And this is the table. We should create a component for this post list page. It is a component table. Let's say post table view. And here we need to import this table within it. And then we are going to create property for that. Here I'm going to do this first. Yeah, I'm going to see table templates, and then here I'm gonna pass this right there. And if we let us get into the post list page first. And here, if you can see, if you over the data here, let us over this data right here. You can see TypeScript infers it to be the type of get post response type. And this is the type that we are going to pass to our component post table. Let us define a component first here. We're going to use script, and then let us remove this. We need to pass it the setup property, and the lang it is ts, and then we are going to use define props macros. Yeah, like this. Yeah, and then here we are going to pass it data. We're going to say post. We're going to type it with this type. Then we need to import it. Here we're going to do this, and then here you can see the error disappear. And here you can see we got an event within this folder on the delete button. Here you can see we got an event right here. We are going to create an event. We are going to use define emit. We are going to call define emit macros. It allows to define events that we are going to call for our components when we are going to import our components. These are events that is bound to these components. And here I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna create here the first event. It is going to be delete post. And then here we're gonna say it is a void type. And I should pass it the parameter. it is a post ID, it is a number, and that's so. Here I should add this. Yeah, we just define an event. Now we need to call this event on this delete button. By doing this, we are going to remove this right here. We are going to do emit, and then we are going to pass the name of this event. It is delete post, because when we are going to import this component, we are going to call this delete post event. Now let us import a post table component within the post list page file. And here you can see, let us import it first. Here we are going to do this. We are going to import post table. We're going to do post table from components. Then we're going to pass here post table.vue. And here we are going to remove this table right here. Yeah, we are going to remove this table. And then we are going to pass this table a prop. If we over this post table, you can see that it is a post. This is the property that we have to pass to it. Here we are going to do this. And then here we need to pass it this property right here, because the post property that we have within the post table, you can see over here, it is a get post response type as a type. Now we need to pass to it. Here we are going to do this. We are going to call this, and then we are going to assign it to this property. But also you can see we still have an error. Yeah, here we still have an error, is because we doesn't yet call our event here, our delete post event. We need to call it. Also, we need to get into the post list page, and then we are going to call this event and pass it this delete event that we have here. We need to pass it delete post event. And if we get into the post table, you can notice that our delete posts have a parameter, which is the post ID, and it is a number that we didn't specify over here. And you can see we are getting here an error because we doesn't pass here this ID. We should pass it, and then the error goes. And let's back into the post list page. Here you can see we still have here an error for the post table, and here you can see that here we're still having an error. And to remove this error, let's see first the type of post reactive property. You can see here TypeScript infers it with two types. The first one, it is get post response type, and the second one, it is undefined, that we have to copy and move to the post table component. You can see here we just pass it one type. We need to add also undefined because the post property can be undefined. And if we go back within the post list page here, you can see here the error disappear because we just add undefined. Now let's try to get into the browser and see if everything is working pretty well. Yeah, you can see we're still getting our data, but here you can see here we pass here. We made a mistake in previous video. Here you can see here it is image instead of title. And I'm gonna try to arrange this table first. Now let's try to arrange this table, and here we're gonna say this, it is going to be the title, and this one the content, and this, we're gonna remove this one, and here we got here the title, the content, and the next field should be the image. I want to change the position here. I'm gonna remove this there and place it there and change it to image, because for the second column we're gonna add an image right there. Here I'm gonna create an empty column. I'm gonna say here emg. We're gonna pass there an image, and here you can see we need to add another column for delete. Yeah, we have here edit, it is empty. We should remove a column right here. We should remove this one in order everything is set up everywhere. Yeah, we need to add another column, for the upload button. Here we need to add another column right here. We need to create here another column. I'm gonna say upload. Yeah, we're gonna use this column to upload an image. And everything so far it is working as expected. Now here you can see here we just here on the post table components we just call the delete post function on it. Now the next thing is to, if we get into the actions folder within the admin actions, you can see here we got another action, delete post. We should import it within the post folder, post list folder within the action folder. Yeah, we should move it there. And then here, let's get into the delete post action and see if there is an error. There is no error. Let's get into the post list page here to see if it doesn't have any error. And so it seems that it doesn't get any error. Yeah, let's try to refresh and see if we get any error. It seems that, yeah, it doesn't have any error. You can see everything, it is working pretty well. Yeah, everything, it is working pretty well. And then we just finish refactoring this post list page folder. And you can see here we have created an actions folder which holds all action related to post list page. But also we have a component. If we need to create another component for the post list page, we should add it right here. And the next components that we're going to work on, it is Upload-Image Modal. This is the component, Upload-Image. I'm going to say Upload-Image Modal. That's what we're going to work on right now. Yeah, this is how we should arrange our folders. You can see here, you just add another component within the post list component folder. We had another component. And if we want to add another types, we should add it within the post list -types.ts. We should add it in this file. All right, guys, now let's work on the post/upload image endpoints. Now, here, the first thing we need to do is to go on Bootstrap because we're going to create a model. We are going to use a model in order to upload an image. Now here, I'm not copy this example here because on Bootstrap, we got a bunch of examples of models. Try to choose a model that you want. Me, I'm not choose this one right here. Let me try to check this. Yeah, I'm not copy this and try to copy it and go within the upload image model component that we have created. And we're gonna create here the template and pass it right there. And let us remove this. And let me do this. And also we need to create here the script. We're gonna create here the script and let us remove this. We're gonna say, pass here setup. And the language it is going to be TS as usual. And then we need to define here, an event. Here you can see if we go within the post table, you can see here we got a button. Upload image. And we need to create first here an event that is going to be triggered when we click on this upload image button right here. Let me zoom out a little bit so that you can see. And here you can see here we already created the one event, delete post. And let us create another event here. I'm gonna copy this and say here upload emit this event, and then I'm gonna pass it post.id. And we need to go within the post list page and create a function over here. Let us create a function here. We're going to say function show model. And then here the function show model should have a single parameter, which is post ID, and it is a number. And here, let me do this first. Let me do this console.log post ID. and let us call the show post model on the post table here. Let us do this first. Let us do this, and here we need to refactor this. Okay, now we need to call this event. Let us call it. I'm gonna call the show model event. Let's try this in the browser and see. When I click on upload, you can see we get the ID of the post. Yeah, we're just getting this ID free. When I click on a post with ID 5, we just get 5. I click on ID 6, we just get 6, and so on. If I click next and click on 9, we got 9 in the console. Here, let me zoom a little bit so that you can see. Let me zoom here. When I click on 9, upload 8, you can see we are getting IDs of a given row. Now we need to open the model. Here I've already created a function. We are going to use it to open the model. I have this function right here. Let me copy this first, and let us copy this here. And here you can see we got a function here, open model. And here we need to pass it an element. This element, it is going to be the string, and it is going to be an attribute that is bound to a model. And we're going to pass this element right there. And here we're going to add a fade class and show class to the model. Here you can see when a model open, let us get into the upload model component here. You can see the name of our model, it is example model. Let us call it post model. And then here they're going to add a class to this model. It is going to have a class show when we click on the upload button. Here we got here, this is the name of our model, post model. And then here in the post list page here, this function, we're gonna call this function open model. We're gonna pass it the attributes, the name of the model. They're going to add a fed class and show and a block style, and then the model is going to pop up here. Let us call this function right here, and then here we need to pass it the name of the model. It is post. We're going to do this post model. Let us try to click again on this show model and see if the model it is going to pop up. But first of all, in order to try it, we need to import the upload model components. Let us go up and import upload. Let us do this upload image model from dash components upload image model .vue. We just import the components, and then we need to register these components here. We need to register this component. Let us register it above the table. We're gonna register it there, and let's try to check if it is going to pop up. Yeah, let me refresh, and here let us click on this button right here. You can see that the model it is not popping up here. I don't know why. Let us see why it doesn't work. Let me try to check upload image model, and then here let us see. Yeah, here we got a model, post model. Let us try to remove this script right here. Let's see if it is going to work. Let us get into the post list page, and here you can see here everything it is working. I think everything it is working. Let me try it again, and first let's try to refresh the page, and then yeah, it seems that we have an error. Let's try to see if we have an error in the console. Yeah, it seems that we have here an error. Let's try to see here. Here you can see we just pass an H tag here, this sign. We need to remove it in order the model to pop up. And here you can see that the model it is showing up, it is pop up. Now the next thing we have to do is to let us export, put this code in the URL file so that you can see that here right now within the post list page we have more codes, and right now we are unable to manage this component because it is getting bigger and bigger. Now we need to refactor a little bit. Now we need to copy this within the, let us get into the URL folder, helper folder, sorry, and then the URL. And then right here we're gonna export this function, and then let us import it within the post list page. Here you can see we are getting here an error. We should import it from the URL file, and then if we click on, we get into the browser and click on here and click on upload. Yeah, the model it is popping up. Now here, the second thing we have to do, we have to create a function that is going to close our model. When we click on close, our model needs to disappear. And I've already created another function right here. It is close model. Let us copy it. And I'm going to put it within the URL folder, URL file, sorry. And let us remove it, this line right here. I'm gonna put the code in the GitHub. Don't worry, you just need to follow up what I'm doing. And then here you can see we have a close model function, and we just select the model. Just select here the model. Here you can see within the component the name of our model. It is an attribute of post model that we need to select here. And then here we're gonna select another attributes, a class model backdrop, and then we need to remove the show and fade class in order the model to disappear. Now here we need to call this close model function within the URL file, within the post list page file, and then here we're gonna create a function. Here let us import it first, and then import it, and then within the post model, let me do this. Within the upload image model, here we need to create another event. Here we're gonna bind this event to the close model. When someone click on this button right here, let me refresh. When someone click on the close, we need to close this model, and to do so, let us add here script, and then here let's say here setup, and the language is going to be TS, and then we need to define an attribute. We're going to call define props method, and then here we should create an event, not a property. We have to say const emit, define emit. We're gonna create an event, and then here I'm gonna do this. Here the name of the event is going to be close model, and then it is not going to have any parameter, and then the return type of this function, it is going to be void. We need to emit this event on this close model. We're gonna do on click the model, it is going to disappear. I'm gonna emit this event, do close model, but also I need to call this event on the icon. On the icon right here, you can see our model has an icon here on the corner. We need to add this event on this icon. Let me do this. On this icon close, you can see it is a button. We need to add this event right there. And then within the post list page here, we need to invoke these events here on the upload image model components. We need to do this close model. You can see close model, and then we are going to call this function close model. Here it is here. This is the function, and you can see we need to pass it an element, and the element, it is the name of the model, the post model. Let us put it right there like this, but it's like this. Let us try to open the model again. When I refresh, let me refresh a bit. When I open the model, and you can see when I click on close, the model disappear. I click on this button right here, which is a cross icon. I click on it, you can see the model disappear. Now the next thing we have to do is to do this is to add here within the model. We need to add here an input file. We are going to do this within the model, upload image model. Here we need to add here first, we need to add here a form. Here let me wrap the model content. I'm gonna wrap the model content within the form tag. Now do this form, and then here I'm gonna pass this right there, and here I'm gonna say the end type, it is going to be multi-part form data. And then here we need to create here a form. We're gonna create a div dot form group and here we have a label. We need to pass it a label. We're gonna say image, and the input file inputs, say here going to be a file. Type it is a file. Yeah, we need to do this, and you can see we just add here an input, and then let me add this line right there. And then here you can see when we open a model, we need to track the ID of a given post. Suppose I click here on this row, I need to display here free. Now to do so, let us do this. Here you can see within the post list page, here we got a function show model, and you can see here we are passing it an ID of the row that we just click on. Now here, and then here, when here we are going to open the model, we are going to do this. I'm gonna say this, it is going to be an asynchronous function, and then the open model, also I'm gonna make it a promise. We are going to pass it an ID of the model because it is going to be this. Then we are going to add it, pass it, because it is going to be a promise, we are going to pass it an ID. Here it is going to have here an ID. Here you can see right now we are getting an error. Now let's get into the URI file and add it within here. You can see here we have the open model. We need to add here a post ID, and then it is going to be a number and we need to make it a promise. We are going to do this, return promise, return no promise, and then here we are going to resolve the ID. Here our promise, it is going to return the ID of the post. Here I'm gonna do this, resolve post ID. Here you can see we just resolve it. We are not going to use reject. And then here when we move within the post list page, you can see over here we got a promise, and here it is going to be this value right there. It is going to be the post ID. Here we just pass it. Our show model function has post ID parameter, and then we just pass this ID to the open model function, which has been a promise. We just pass to this promise open model, and then here we are going to grab here the ID of the post model. Here we are going to get here the ID. When we open the model, we are going to get this ID. Now let's try to open a model again and see what we get. Here, let me try to open the model again. Here you can see when I click on, yeah, we just get the ID. And also, I need to add another thing within the upload image model. Here you can see we are going to define a property. We are going to define a property here I'm gonna call it post ID, and then here it is going to be a number. We need to pass here, we need to pass this ID to our components. That's what we're gonna do. Now here you can see here we just define the post ID. And here, let me first display this ID right here. I'm gonna do this post ID, and then here let us pass this ID to this component. And if we go within the post list page, you can see here our model needs, you can see here we have an error because our model, we need to pass it another property, and this property, it is post ID. And here, right now, here you can see we just tracking the ID of the row that we just click on it. If we click on a given row, here we are getting here an ID. Now here, let us create a reactive property. Here I'm gonna create current post ID, and then I'm gonna do this. It is going to be a number. Let me initialize it with 0. And then here, I'm gonna do this. When I track this ID, I'm gonna do value. I'm gonna pass it to this current post ID reactive property. I'm gonna pass it this ID right here. And then here, let me do this. Here you can see we are getting an error. Yeah, unknown. It is not. Here the post ID. Here you can see the type of post ID, it is unknown. I don't know why. Maybe we should convert it to be a number. Let us get into the URL file. And here you can see we're just returning a promise. And our promise should return a number. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna tap our promise here to remove the error. And here you can see that the error display, because right now here our post ID tab script infers it to be a number. And this ID here, current post, we are going to pass it. When we open the model, we are going to store the ID of the post within the current post ID variable. And then we just pass it to the upload image model. Now let's try to see what we get in the browser. Here you can see here, when I click here, I click on this row with title, how to learn JavaScript. Here, when I click on this row, you can see the model. We are getting here the ID free, model title dash free. I click on this row here with ID 5. You're gonna see we are getting here 5. And let me try to click on the next. Here you can see when I click on this 2, we're getting here model title with ID 9. Now let's try to create a function that is going to display the image that we just selected on our computer. Here, if I select this image, I want that when I just selected this image, I want it to appear right here. Now let's get into here the upload image model, and here we're gonna go into the helper folder. I'm gonna create here a file, upload-image.ts, and within this file, I'm gonna create the first function is going to be export function select image, and then this function, it is going to return the selected image. Here, let me get into the upload image model, and here I'm going to create an HTML tag, an image tag, sorry. I'm going to create an image tag, and our image tag, it is going to have a style. I'm gonna say the height, it is going to be 150 pixel, and the source right now, it is going to be empty. And then here, let me add a little break here. And here we're gonna bind an event to these inputs. I'm gonna say here change. I'm gonna say on select image. Let me say select image, and then I'm gonna create here this function. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna create a function, and here we're gonna pass it the value, and here we are going to call this function here. You're going to see here we have within the URL that within the upload image file, we got here this function. We're gonna call this function because this function, it is going to return. Let me do this, guys. It is going to return the selected file, and here let us call it within the upload image here, image, and then I'm gonna do this. Here it is going to have two parameters, the inputs file and the elements. The elements, it is going to have an attribute here. It is this image tag. It is going to have an attribute. I'm gonna say here output img, output image, because when we select an image, we need to show it. And then let us go up, and then here I'm gonna put here output. That's pretty much it. Now let us get into this upload image.ts file. Here we need to pass here the inputs, and then here we need to pass here an element. It is going to be a string, and also we need to select first the image. Select, we are going to store it within this variable. We're going to do e represents the input file, and then target files. It is an array. We select the path of the image, and then here we need to create here. We need to select here the image tag. We're going to do documents that get element by ID. It is going to be this image tag. Yeah, like this. This represents the image tag. And then here we need to display, we need to inject, we need to pass this path to this image tag right here. We are going to do import that source, and then we are going to call a function URL that creates object URL, and then we are going to pass it this selected image to it. And after that, we are going to invoke another function. Here we're going to do source. I'm gonna type it with as HTML image element. It is an HTML image element. Here we just type this inputs, this output variable, and here you can see we just invoke the create object URL method to it, and we need to call another function that is going to append now the image output that onload event. And then here we need to invoke another function. We are going to use the URL class, and then we are going to revoke the object URL, and then we need to pass this image path to this image element here. We are going to do output source, and we are going to return the selected image. We are going to do this return selected image. Here I'm gonna select this image right here. I'm gonna do selected file, not image. Here, if we let this selected image, you can see here the name of our function, it is select image. And here I can let it like this, selected image. That's what we need to return. Now let us get into the upload image model. Here you can see we are getting here an error, and here let us import first this function. We need to import this function select image. Let us import it. We're going to do import from here. That's why we are getting here an error. We're going to do this here @/helper. You're going to select upload image file, and here if we over the select image function, you can see here it takes to parameter input file and the elements. Here we're just passing it to the elements. Then here, here we are getting an error. You can see here we are getting here an error because right here we have another function, select image, and let us modify the name here. We are going to say get selected image, and let's import it in here, and the error is going to disappear. And then here you can see when we are going to select an image, let us get into the browser. Let's try to select an image and see what we get. Here, when we select this image right here, you can see it appear right here. That's what I want you to do, because when we select an image, we need to see what kind of image we just selected. Now, let's try to send this image to the server. Here, let's create a function here. We're going to say function Upload-Image, and then we're going to pass in, we're going to catch the error, try catch, because we're going to use fetch API to upload the image. And here you're going to do data, and then here I'm going to await the request. It is going to be an asynchronous function. Then fetch, I'm gonna use fetch, a fetch function, and here we need to call the app. We need to pass here the URL. We are going to call, we need to import the app variable. Here we need to import this file, this variable right here, and then let us move to upload image model and try to pass it right there and import it, because we need to hit this endpoint right here. Let me show you. Let us get into the API file, and we need to hit this endpoint post/upload image. That's the endpoint that we need to hit. Now here I'm gonna pass this endpoint right here. I'm gonna do base API URL and then slash. I'm gonna pass there the endpoint, and then here I need to pass here options, and here I'm gonna catch the response. It is going to be, I'm gonna wait for the response. Await. I'm gonna do this. It should pass here data, and here the response res.json, because we are waiting for the JSON from the server. Res.json, and that's all, guys. Now let's try to add an header for our function. Here you can see we just only passed the URL, and if we over the fetch method, you can see it takes two parameters, and the second parameter, it is these errors that we need to pass right here. Let me create here a function. I'm gonna create a function. I'm gonna say upload image headers, and here we are going to pass to our function two parameters. The first parameter, it is going to be the image, the file. I'm gonna say it is going to be a type of blob. The blob type represents an image, and also it is going to have the post ID. It is going to be a number. Now let me put this function within the upload-image.ts file right here, and let me export it. And here the first thing, because here if we get into the API.php file, you can see that this endpoint right here that allows us to upload the image, it is secure by Laravel Sanctum. And we need to pass it the token. We are going to create a variable user data and then get user data, because the get user data returns a token, returns a response of return a login response type. And as you know, the login response type, let us get into this file, and here you can see the login response type return a token. And here we just grab a token. Now we need to create headers. We are going to do this headers, and then we're going to create headers. We are going to instantiate the headers class, but also we are going to append some headers like authorization headers that append. We're going to use the authorization. We're going to use bear. Yeah, bear plus we're gonna use data that token, and also we need to create another. We need to instantiate the form data class, form data, because we are going to use this class to upload the image when we can use to upload the image or a file. Now here we are going to do form data that append, and here we're going to append it the image, which is the key, and the value, which is the file. Here we need to create also this now the options that we are going to pass to the fetch API function. The method, it is going to be post method, post, pass here post, and the headers, you're going to have also headers. You can pass it, and the body it is going to be represented by form data body, and then here we pass form data, and then we need to return back to this function, this request headers options, this object, we need to return to it. Now we need to call this upload image header to this upload image model component. We need to pass it right here. We're going to remove this, and we just pass this function right there. And then here, let me do this, create variable const request options, and then I'm gonna store these options within this variable right here. And here I'm gonna do this. Here I'm gonna remove this, and you can see when we need to import first this class. Here it is already been imported, upload image header, and you can see when we over it takes two parameter. The first one, it is the file, and the second one, it is the post ID. And here you can see here this get selected image function, it is returning the selected image. Now here I'm gonna create a constant image. Let me say, I'm gonna pass it, and I say it is going to be the image, and then here I'm gonna say selected image. Then I'm pass it here, and I pass it ref to create a reactive property. The content type, I'm gonna say it is going to be of type of any right now because we don't know the type. And then here we need to do this image dot value. We're gonna pass it this value here because it is of any type. If we over this variable selected image, you can see the value, it is any. We pass it, and then this image that we're gonna pass to this file right here to upload image header, you can see the first parameter, it is a file, and that we pass here this image. And the second parameter, it is the post ID. Here you can see we are storing here props. Here we have the post ID. We are passing to this upload image model component the post ID. I'm gonna use this props variable to get access to the post ID like this. And then we are going to pass the rec options to this fetch API like this. But here we are getting here another arguments of type of blob. Let us do this. Let me pass here the image. It is going to be a type of blob, and to see if the error is going to be disappear. Right now, I'm gonna pass here any, and then we're gonna refactor afterwards here. let me get into the upload image, and here I'm gonna pass here any, and then let us get back this file. Here you can see here any, the error disappear. Now we need to upload an image here, and here let us try to upload an image. Let us do this first. Let us get into the browser and see what we get. Here, if we go within the post controller on add image function, here add image function, you can see this function right here. It returns a message. Let us type our promise here, this data right here. We're gonna say, we're gonna show success. We're gonna call the success message function within the toast notification file. We're gonna pass it data that message because it is returning a message. And then here, if we got an error, we are going to show error, and then we are going to pass it this error, that message. And also here we are getting here an error because does not exist show error. Let us do this. Yeah, we're getting, let me type the error of a non-type so that this error can disappear. And then we need to do one more thing, guys. We need to call the upload image function to this form right here. We have wrapped this. You can see here we got the form. We need to do this, submit, and then here we need to call upload image function, and then we're gonna use the prevent modifier so that the browser can't refresh. Now let's try this function within the browser and see if we are going to upload an image. And then let's try. Let us get into the browser and see if it is going to work. Now let's open the model, select the image. We just select the image. Now we need to send this image to the server. We are going to click on save. Yeah, it seems that it doesn't send anything. When I click on save, you can see that we didn't send anything to the server when I click on the save changes. And here I'm gonna do something here. I'm gonna change the type of button to submit, and then let me get into the browser again and try to refresh and see if we are going to upload an image. Let me select the file here. Yeah, you can see we just sent a file to the server, but we are getting an error. Here you can see it is not a valid JSON. Here, let us see the error on the backend. Here we are getting here an error. I don't know why. Yeah, here we are sending, if we see the payload, we are sending only the image. We doesn't send the post ID. Here you can see on this add image here, we request to fill post ID and image, but we are sending only one field. It is an ID within the payload option. Here we need to get into the upload image file.ts. Here you can see we just append only the image file. We should append also the post ID here, and then here we should pass post ID probably like this. You can see here they say that it should be a string. I'm gonna do this to string, and then let's try it again and see what we get. Now let's try to press to save changes button and see if we are going to save this image. Yeah, you can see when we press on the save changes button, you can see that here we are getting a saver error. And let's see within the payload tab, you can see we are sending two fields, the image in the binary and the post ID. And here if you scroll down a little bit, you're going to see that here, let me show you something, guys. Here you can see we are sending here the authorization, and the authorization right here, you can see we pass here the bearer, and the bearer, it is connected to the token. That's why we are getting this error. And guys, you should be clever here. Here you can see I just pass here an error. And when you are passing an authorization key to your header, you should add before bearer, you should add a space like this in order to escape the error. If you try to concatenate the bearer and the token, you're going to get an error. That's why we are getting this error. Let me try to refresh again and see if I'm gonna get this error again. And then let's try to upload this image for this post, and then I'm try to select this image and click on save changes. You can see here we are getting here message post uploaded. Now here, if we let me close the model. If I type something within the search form, and we are sending a search, a GET request to the server, and let us see what we are getting back from the server. Here you can see we are getting here an object, and this post which have the ID free, a post which have this ID free right here. You can see here we are getting here a URL of the image. This is the URL of the image. Let me try to add the space so that you can see. Guys, you can see here this post right here. It is returning a string here, the URL. And then here you can see the image returns the path of the image. And then if I tap this path within the browser, you can see we are displaying the image that we just uploaded on the server. Let me show you something again. Here, if we go within the API.file PHP and we move this file outside of the middleware, and let's try to put it there, and let's try to do this. I'm not trying to do this. API/post, and then let's try to do this. You can see that here we just uploaded an image for our post with ID free. You can see here this is the path of the image, and for the other posts we doesn't have an ID. You can see here the image key, it is null. Now let us secure these endpoints, and then we need to display now the image for our post. We need to get into these components within the table, the post table components. And then here, right here, you can see here, we got here a column where we are going to display the image. This is the column here. Let me try to display the image. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna create first here an image tag. And then here, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do show. I'm gonna pass here the source attributes, and then I'm gonna do post.image. And then I need to add this semicolon to this image here. We need to do this in order to display the image. And if we get into the browser, you can see that we just display the image, but also we need to add a small styling. The height, it is going to be 100 pixel in order to get a small image. Here you can see that we just display the image, but I'm going to reduce the height. I'm gonna say 75, and here you can see it just display the image. And also we need to do one more thing, guys. When we upload an image for given post, we need to refresh the table. That's what we are going to do. Here you can see when let's try to do something, guys. If I get into this file right here and I upload this image, and then when I upload this image, you're going to see that our table, it is not going to refresh. You can see we got a message right here, image uploaded, but the table, it is not refreshed automatically. If I type here, if I type within the search form, we can see the image disappear. Now we need to call automatically this function that allows to display post data within the table. We are going to do this, guys. Let us do this first. Let me do this. Let me zoom in a little bit. Now here guys, we need to create another function within the upload image model, and here we need to create an event here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say refresh table, and then we're gonna emit this event when we are going to upload an image. Here we are going to do this. After we show the image, we are going to do emit, and then we are going to call the refresh table function. And let's get into the post in this file right here, the post list page. And here you can see the upload image model. It is right here. We need to invoke this function upload. We need to invoke refresh table function, and then we are going to pass it this function show post like this. Yeah, it means when we are going to upload an image, we are going to emit this event, and this event, it is connected to the show post function, to this function right here. We are going to call this function. Now let's try it in the browser. Let me do this first, and let's try to upload an image for this post with ID 6. Let's see here. Let me try to upload another image. Let me get into, you can see within the pictures, in my pictures, let me select my image, and then you can see I just selected my image, and then when I click on save changes, you can see that we just upload the image, and you can see the image, it is appeared automatically right here. Now let me try to do something, guys. Here you can see when we open the upload model and we just send the image to the server, we should reset these fields, and also we should change these save changes to upload. Let us get into code in the upload model, and the first thing we are going to say here, save changes, going to modify to upload, and here we need for the input type field, we are going to do this. We're going to say it is going to be required, and also before we send this, we are going to check the validation. We're going to do this if image that value, it is not blank, it is not empty, we are going to send this function. We are going to execute this block of instruction, else we are going to show the error. We're going to invoke this method. We're going to say please select an image, please select an image. Let me format the document, and also we need to reset this field. We're going to do, when we just emit refresh the table, we just upload the image, we are going to do image that value is going to be to blank, and then here we need also to reset the value of this tag here, this image tag that you can see over here. We're going to do this here. We're going to do this document that get elements by ID. We're going to pass it as, we're going to say as HTML elements, like HTML image elements, and then here we're going to do this output, yeah, image tag, and then we are going to reset the source. We're going to do image tag that source to empty. Now let's try again to upload an image to the server and see what we get here. Let me go to another post here. We're on the second page here. Let me try to upload an image for this post right here, how to test a JS app. Let me try to upload an image. Let me get on the desktop file. We're gonna find some beautiful images right there. I'm gonna get into the Vue Laravel. And then let me pick an image right here. I'm gonna pick only this image, and then I'm gonna try to insert it. Upload. Yeah, you can see we just upload an image for the post with ID 7. And here we should reset this input right here. Let me close first this, and let's try to see if we just upload. Yeah, you can see here we got an image. Yeah, everything it is okay. Let's try to upload an image for this one. If you try to send an empty image to the server, we are going to get a message here. Here you can see, please select a file. That's pretty much it, guys. I think everything we just finished working on this upload image endpoint. I think that's all, guys. Let me try to see if we didn't miss anything. Here we have already do everything. I think everything it is clear, guys. We just finished working on the upload image endpoint. Congratulations. Now in the next video we're gonna work on the edit. We're gonna work on this endpoint right here, edit post, but also we're gonna refactor again here, because you can see when we are building an app in Vue.js, you can see when we are creating files for our application, when our app it is growing, it is going to be difficult to manage our application. And to manage our application, we need to have a tool. We need to know how to organize our files, how to write clean codes, how to manage things, guys, in order to have a code which is a bit clean. You need to have a high-level architecture in order to handle big projects. You can see here we are dealing with a small project, but the code, as we are coding, the code it is growing and things are starting becoming complicated. That's all, guys, for this video, and I see you in the next one.